Hello, everyone. My name is Tucker, and welcome back to our Russian fishing for float fishing journey. You may notice things look a little bit different. We're over here at Belaya today, so this is the first time we've been at Belaya on this account. It's actually over at Belaya on my spin account, and got a little interested in coming over here today to look at what we can catch. There is a Dace order that I want to try and get, so it's only 2 at 100. It's a little bit late in the day, so I want to get started as quickly as we can. So the administration tent is right here. We'll go ahead and buy a map just so we have it. So we are out here in the middle of an island. There are some very steep cliffs on this side. Good bream fishing out that way. Shallow fishing, carp fishing out that way. And we're going to go to the end of the island here and see what we can get Dace wise. Excuse me. My throat kind of clogged up on me there for a second. So we're going to walk out here as far as we possibly can. We're as far south as we can on the island here. We're going to take out our float rod, put a size 22 hook on with casters, and I believe I want to use, I did actually see this on VK earlier too, about a 30 meter or 30 meter deep, a 30 centimeter deep config. So I think we're about at a meter here. So we'll back down to 30. And I want to go ahead and get my second rod ready as well too, since there is a current. So Belaya is a river, very similar to when we were float fishing at Winding. Our baits will slowly float down river here. I am going to go ahead and just toss this out on pearl barley. I think I've got roach mix in there. Not sure if we're going to get anything worthwhile there, but we'll go ahead and just cast it out. So the river does flow, I believe, from right to left here. Yep. A couple steps back. I really wanted to go a little bit further out than I cast there, but that was more just making sure I knew which way the river floated. I didn't change the depth on this guy. He was really deep. So it is a little bit late in the day to be trying this. We'll see. At night we may go to a different spot, try and get some rough, make some money. There we go. Honestly, not sure how well this is going to go, but I saw the Dace order on my other account and figured I might as well come after this. So I'm actually recording this episode immediately after finishing up with the spin fishing episode. And actually just finished uploading. I'd like to be able to put this rod on the right. There we go. Finally found a place I can actually put a rod pod down. Got my mouse to the edge of the table there. The post I saw was using size 19 hooks. We're using a bit smaller. I may try, I think I've got a 16. I'm not going to buy new hooks, especially here at Belaya. Everything's expensive at Belaya because you're out in the middle of the river. You know, there is no town or anything like that. The whole fishing is on this island. Let's try the 16s still with casters. Something's nibbling over there at 2. This was. But jumping around. Rod 1 is the one in my hand right now. Rod 2 is the one to the right with the purple float. Rod 1 does have monofilament on it still, no changes there. Rod 2 does have fluorocarbon on it, no changes there. It is about 9 o'clock at night, my time. A little bit late, but it is what it is. Tomorrow I'm going to try and at least get one of these done during my lunch break. You can still dig for worms out here on the island, and probably should still dig for worms. Fortunately, this is not looking as successful as it was for the folks I was seeing on BK. They were pulling Bleak and Dace out pretty regularly. Torn Up Squirrel. Awesome name. Got something on one here. Got a brown trout? Yep. Brown trout on telescopic. Small one, but it's like a chub. Nope, roach. 1 kilo roach. Interestingly enough, both fish we've caught have been on monofilament so far. When I say that, talking the line. Got nylon monofilament line on rod 1, the blue line, and the white line is our fluorocarbon line, which should be a little bit more invisible to fish. Let's just have some fun. So far, the only fish we've caught spin fishing has been that one pain in the rear end perch that we caught at the very start. We got no leader on. We got no special lures or anything like that. I haven't bought a lure. We got a very small reel, so this is the starter rod and reel. Let's just see if we can get anything. Like to be a little bit of a different spot than here, but we're gonna catch a fish. Still keeping my float rods in eyesight. Another brown trout. Love the speckled brown trout. Always fun to catch. But this is just proof that you can use pretty much anything here at Belaya and be pretty successful spin fishing. Figured I'd toss this out once or twice and just see what we catch. I'll go back to my bottom rod here in a second. Just getting a little bit bored and wanted to see dragonfly bell. One last cast. And there was something there. Bit both rods, and neither one of them decided to actually stay on. That's unfortunate. Nice. Nice. Toss that out over there. So it is much deeper on this side over by the cliffs. But I don't think I really have the casting distance to be going after bream here. You need to be able to cast 4 to 500 or 40 to 50 meters to really get it out there. And we're barely over 20. Especially since casting has not been a priority at all. Using a reel for us, I don't think we even have points in using a spinning reel. 0 points in using a reel. I still think our next steps are probably looking at bolo rods. I wouldn't mind getting a longer hollow stick too, because I don't think these are 7 meter long ones. 6 meter. I don't know. Just that might be the thing that we look at after we get at least one bolo rod. So bolo rod is basically a float that you cast out further with a reel on. It floats over your fishing target, and then you can reel in your catch instead of having to lift up on it like a telestick. But you still have a float. I wouldn't mind getting binoculars. They're about 150 silver. We got a ways to go before we'll be able to afford that, though. So far today here at Belaya, experiment hasn't gone as well as I was hoping it would. Just all tabbing out to look at the VK post to see if I missed anything important. The guy who was fishing this was a higher level, so he was using sandwich baits. And using very thin line now that I look at it. Very thin. It's got 4.2 pound lined on where we were using 15 pound. That might be playing into why we're not getting the bites. And I'm pretty sure fine line here is really expensive, but let's take a quick look. Hardware store, not what I was trying to look at. Lines, fluorocarbon, said fluorocarbon. Season. Stake invisible. Seems to be using line that doesn't exist anymore. Stake invisible 4.2 EMD. That's 2.2, goes up to 3.6. Wondering if it's a translation type issue. Because it definitely is a Russian player. Oh well, it's worth a try looking at. Being nighttime, we'll see what happens. Sounds like we do have something at least on our bottom rod. Probably a small roach. Test that back out. Turn my light on so we can see. Don't think we actually have a bite yet. Definitely have a nibble. And now nothing. That's not even. I was just looking at what line. I only have 10-pound line left over. Or the old crappy free line that came with the free float fishing tackle. Which is not what I think I want to use here. Go back to 22s casters. They were using sandwich bait, so they had 2 casters on. And also had a little bit longer rods. They had 7-meter rods. They were able to cast it out a little bit further. Yeah, small chub. Eat 2 more thermoses. How many times there was a bite on there? I wanted to make sure there really wasn't a bite, just nibbles. Dace was a surprise. The 2 brown trouts were surprises as well. But so far today, I don't even think we made the silver back that we spent to get here. Long rod. The bite on one, and I picked up two. Marker roach. We did get here late afternoon, so not entirely surprised we didn't see anything. We'll see how the morning goes. I do like to, if I dig for worms, and especially while float fishing, I do like to put the shovel away because otherwise that's still a movement you have to do before you pick a rod up. I do love the scenery here at Belaya with the pine trees up there on top of the cliffs. Fishing for me here has always been hit or miss. I caught some really good bream here in the past, but other than that, I honestly haven't done a whole lot of float or bottom fishing here. So that's part of why I wanted to come today, was to try something new. Too far away from the rods. Email has been going crazy tonight. Not sure why. Sun will start coming out about 30 in the morning in game. We'll see if that changes anything. Otherwise, today may be a failure, but I'm not opposed to showing the failures as well. They're going to happen from time to time. Nighttime fishing for me at Belaya is always super slow unless I'm going for bream. And then bream is hit or miss whether it's super slow or not. Not really the best day. That's unfortunate. Looking forward to the weather warming up a little bit. It's actually below freezing here the past couple days. Unfortunately, they're also saying it's going back up to the mid 80s this weekend. Should be fun that time of year. Bait harvesting's up to 29.6. Try not to whip my head around and cause motion sickness. I do want to keep an eye on both rods or all three rods, especially with the bottom rod jingling there for a second. Wanted to look at that, but doesn't seem like it's going to be going anywhere. Sun's starting to come out. Let's go back to at least letting it drift with the current a little bit. Got another skill point there. I didn't see where we ended up to. 29.8. 30%, I think, unlocks Semolina, if I remember correctly. Yep. Another good carp bait. Good news is it seems like not, yeah, fishing's starting to pick up. I was about to say not much of anyone's catching anything. 3 red worms, I'll take that. If anything, today's been a good bait harvesting day. Another couple of red worms. Only thing I don't like about these thin floats are how hard they are to see for me. They're blending in with the reflection of the cliffs. Reasonable crucian. Not what I was going after, but is what it is. Trying to decide if I wanted to use any other baits or not. Let's try bloodworm. See if any different bites happen. That's one thing I've learned is you can't always trust, or what works for someone else won't always work for you. So feel free to experiment using different baits, different hooks. Just because I catch a good fish doesn't mean you will. That type of thing. So close to level 30 bait harvesting, 30% bait harvesting. That's a decent roach. For the bottom fishing. Another float fishing brown trout. Thank you, phone, for telling me I took a longer dog walk earlier. Just got the "you hit your step goal" message. They've actually been doing a lot of construction around my house, and I saw a number of cars coming a direction where folks haven't been coming recently, and they just opened up another exit from my neighborhood to the main street, so that's going to make life a lot better for me, a lot easier. Right now, to go north, I had to go south, leave my neighborhood, and cut across. The construction ended right at my neighborhood, really. Good news, they took the street from a 1x1 lane to a 2x2, repaved it. Looks really good. So been fun watching that as I've lived in this place for 16 years now. And when I first moved here, none of it was 2x2. And now all of it basically is. There's still one small section that's not. Heard they're going to start working on that next, but they also smoothed out a fun hill that was about a 10 to 20% grade going up right into a stop sign. And you could always tell people that lived in the neighborhood versus people that didn't, because people that lived in the neighborhood would always let whoever's whoever's coming southbound down the main street go through a stop sign instead of having to stop if it was snowy or icy out there. I actually had a police car almost hit me from behind one time when I tried to stop at the stop sign because he didn't expect me to. He expected me to just run the stop sign with a cop right behind me. We're actually not too far from the regional police academy as well too, so it's fun. But they smooth that out quite a bit, so I think that's going to make things a lot better there. I actually haven't gone up that direction since they've reopened some of the road. Ah, they had you going north and south on the southbound side up until I saw one lane open on Monday, but they still had the entrance blocked off, entrance exit to my neighborhood up there blocked off. And today I noticed 4 or 5 cars coming at me from that direction, so I figured they had opened it. So took the four-legged friend on a wander that way to take a look at it, and it's definitely opened back up. So looking forward to that. Makes going to the grocery store and coming home easier. Especially first thing in the morning or around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I live right by an elementary school, and now I don't have to deal with the traffic as much for the elementary school. Don't have to drive right past it, can kind of avoid it a little bit. I'm going to say today was probably a bit of a failure. We're 44 minutes into it, only 10 fish, all small. Did we even get a marker? Yeah, we all the markers we've gotten have been bottom fishing. It was worth a try for an experiment, for something different. I was hoping to get the Dace for the cafe order, but not thinking it's going to happen. We'll go to about 10, 11 o'clock and may cut it off a little bit early. One of those, if I'm not having fun, it's not going to be making good content either. Type situations right now. Looked like the line was slack. Roach helicopter. I'll go to 10 o'clock we don't catch any dace before then, I'll probably call it. Yeah, for the screenshots I see, there's a fair number of fish compared to nothing. And no bites or anything, no nibbles. That's what's making me think this was a failure. And I just thought up a corny title that I'm probably gonna have to use.
Okay, but first you'll have to unlock your device.
What? Corny title must have sounded like Google somehow. That's got me laughing now. All right. Nothing's happening. I'm done. Well, today was a failure. Unfortunately, that happens. Worth a try. Um, I don't know. Getting to kind of a bit of a point where it's not working out as well as I wanted to here. And Russian Fishing 4 just crashed. Awesome. My game just crashed as well. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Hope everyone has a good one. I'll log back in and sell the fish, but it was probably about 5 silver. So hope everyone has a good one. We'll be back again tomorrow.